Hello, hello. Glad you could make it. So, going to do a class, probably be 30, 40 minutes, particularly aimed at people that might have been working from home or if you've been sat down for a period of time and you need a stretch, you need to open the body. So, we're going to go straight into it. We're going to start from a standing posture because presumably, if you've been sat down, that's where you don't want to be. Okay, so we stand in Tadasana mountain pose to start the class. So in Tadasana, what we try and do is get a really good broad connection foundation with our feet. So try to lift your toes as high as you can, broaden through the knuckles of the toes, and then press the toes back down. But feel the grounding down through the knuckles of the toes and the heels of the feet. Try to engage your quads, lifting the kneecaps up a little bit of engagement here in your thighs. Gently pull your tummy in just below the belly button, the navel, just gently pull that in slightly. Roll the shoulders backwards a little bit just to feel that external rotation. If you've been slouched or crouched most of the morning, try to get a little bit of opening through the front of the chest. Drop the hands down the side of the body, lift up through the crown of the head. Try to get some length through the spine. Feel the ribs gently opening up a little bit. I'm going to take a few gentle breaths here. Not going to stay here too long. I want to get moving fairly quickly. So maybe close your eyes, maybe open your eyes, but keep your attention on something in front of you. Big breath in. So feel the lungs, feel where the breath goes to. Does it go into the tummy or the chest or both? And as you get to the top, just hold that breath. And then release. And as you release, soften through the shoulders. Another one of those breaths, filling the lungs up as much as you can, all the way to the top. Pausing at the top, finding that stillness in the body with the breath. And then release the breath and normal, natural breath. And we'll do breath to movement straight away. So with a breath in, take the arms out nice and wide, lift the arms up above the head as mine disappear out of sight, and exhale, come all the way down. Try to think about the breath starting the movement, continuing with the breath, with the movement until the end of the breath, the end of the movement. And exhale again, start the movement, float the hands down, under control, breath to movement. Inhale up, one more time. And exhale down. It will get a bit more challenging. As you inhale up and lift the hands up above the head, interlace the fingers, push the palms away into this Venus lock. Big inhale here, straightening the arms out. On an exhale, slightly bend to one side as you find that stretch through the side of the body, keeping the arms pushed away and in, and exhale back to center and all the way back to the other side. Okay, just going through that movement, feeling the body opening, stretching. And float the hands down. Okay, loosen off the wrists. Come to the top of the mat. Again, into Tadasana, feet are hip width apart. Soften the knees, tuck the chin in, roll down. So dropping the head and the shoulders down towards the mat, roll down, soften the knees here, and hang here. Let the arms dangle, keeping the chin tucked in, roll all the way up. Inhale the hands up. Soften the knees, exhale, sweep the hands behind you. Inhale up. Straighten the legs, lift up, tall mountain. Exhale, soften the knees, sweep the hands behind you. Inhale up and soften the knees, come back. Starting to get the movement going a little bit quicker now. Starting to get the blood moving a little bit quicker. Heart rate's going to start to rise. So nice and slow. So inhaling up, lifting up, filling the body with air. Exhaling, closing, and releasing the breath. Okay, you get the idea. And on the very next one, as you exhale, hold here with the arms straight behind you, shoulder blades come together, looking down at the mat, soft on the knees. Then drop the hands down to the floor. Slowly walk back to a high press up plank position as you bring the shoulders on top of the wrists. Holding here for a couple of breaths, pushing into the heels. Feeling the core engaged, pulling your tummy, your navel up towards your spine. Nice and solid in this posture. And then drop onto your knees, chest, chin, all the way down to the mat. Top of the feet on the mat, inhale, lift the chest up into Cobra, gently pressing down into the mat, but thinking about lengthening through the spine, so lifting up through the crown of the head. Couple of breaths here, feeling that extension through the spine. And exhale, come down. Inhale to tabletop. Tucking the toes in, exhaling to downward dog. Position your feet just slightly wider than hip width apart. Slow inhale, come all the way forwards into a plank, but then dropping the hips down, pulling the tummy button in, lifting up through the crown of the head into an upward dog on your toes. I'm going to exhale all the way back into downward dog. I'm going to come through that movement again. So inhaling, coming all the way through into a plank, engaging your core, supporting your lower back, dropping your hips down, lifting up through the crown of the head, looking directly forwards, and exhale, coming all the way back. And one more. Nice and slowly with the breath. Thinking about the movement, thinking about what in the body is moving, stretching, what's grounding down. Exhale into downward dog. Bending the knees, looking up between the hands, slowly walking to the top of the mat. Okay, with the knees bent, grab hold of opposite elbows with your hands. Rock from side to side, forwards and backwards. Dropping the hands down, tucking the chin in, rolling up, standing. Inhale, lift up, tall mountain. Exhale, bending the knees slightly, slowly float down, bend knee forward bend. Okay, with an inhale, walk all the way back to plank. And when you get your shoulders on top of your wrists, exhale onto your knees, chest, chin. Tops of the feet on the mat. Inhale through and up into Cobra. Exhale, come down. Let's move it up a gear. So push up on the exhale into tabletop. And into downward dog, pedaling out the legs here. If you can, inhale the left leg nice and high, come up onto the toes of the right foot and step that left foot forward between the hands. If it takes a couple of jumps, that's okay. With the next inhale, when you're in this position, turn the shoulders to the left, take the left hand up. Exhale the hand down. Inhale the right arm up to the side and exhale down. Step back into downward dog. Pedal out the legs. Inhale the right leg nice and high, coming up onto the toes of the left foot. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Find your way here. Inhale and turn the shoulders to the right, take the right hand up. Exhale down. Keeping the hips nice and steady. Inhale to the left. And come back down. Good. Step back to a downward dog. Inhale up into plank. Shoulders on wrists. Exhale, knees, chest, chin down to the mat. Tops of the feet on the mat. Inhale through and up into Cobra. Maybe lifting the pelvis off the mat this time. Tall Cobra, lifting up through the crown of the head. Exhale down. Inhale up into tabletop. Tuck the toes in. Exhale to downward dog. Look up between the hands. Drop the right knee down. Step the left foot forward between the hands. With an inhale, sweep the hands up, interlace the fingers again, Venus lock, push the hands up. Exhale, lean into this lunge, keeping those arms as high as you can. Really working the postural muscles now, particularly if you have been seated all morning or even all afternoon. But breathing nice and steadily here, but feeling the opening of the work going on in the body. Release the hands, exhale the hands down, either side of that left foot. Tuck the right toes in, lift the right knee up, and straighten out through the left leg into pyramid. Feeling the tension in the hamstring in the calf. Couple of breaths here. Going for a twist. Inhale, shoulders to the left, take the left hand up and down. Inhale, turn to the right, finding your balance, take the right hand up. And down. Good. Drop down onto that right knee. Drop down onto the left knee. Step the right foot forward between the hands and slowly come to an upright position. Inhaling the hands up nice and high. This time, take the hands behind the head and then pull the elbows back on the inhale as you push the chest forwards and then lean forwards into this lunge. Find that really glorious stretch, both of your hip flexor and working pec minor muscles, front of the chest, shoulder blades coming towards each other, trapezius is engaged. Holding, breathing, feeling that sensation across the body. Inhale the hands up, exhale, float the hands down either side of that right foot, tucking the left toes into the mat. Lift the left knee up, straighten out through the right leg, find the tension in the hamstring. Breathe in here, find stability with your hands. With an inhale, turn the shoulders to the right, take the right hand up and down. Keeping the hips stable, take the left hand out to the side, turn the shoulders Inhale up and down. Okay, from here, walk the hands to the top of the mat, lift up the left leg into a standing split. So the left leg's about hip height, straight through the right leg. Feel good grounded through the right leg. If you want to take your hands off the mat here, check your balance. You can try this or grab hold of your right leg. If balance isn't working for you, just try one hand maybe. And then drop the hands down. Slowly float that left foot back down to the mat, onto the ball of the foot. With an inhale, sweeping the hands forwards, come up into a high crescent lunge, looking straight ahead. Right knee pointing over right toes. Okay, inhale here. Exhale, sweep the hands all the way forwards and back and drop the chest down towards that right knee. Inhale up into crescent lunge. Exhale, float forwards. Inhale up. Exhale, float forwards. Inhale up one more time. This time, looking straight ahead, going to cactus the arms, so bring the elbows down shoulder height, palms facing forward. Inhale the chest forwards as you pull those elbows backwards. Again, really working those postural muscles that have been maybe quite tight through the morning, maybe slouched. Inhale the hands up, turn and look down at the top of your mat. Exhale, float the hands down. Push into the mat with the hands. Step all the way back into a downward dog, pedaling out through both legs here. Inhale, come through into plank, vinyasa flow. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, pull through and up into Cobra. Exhale, come back down. Inhale up into tabletop, tucking the toes in, and exhale down into downward dog. Pedaling out the legs here. Okay, big inhale coming in. Lift up that left leg, come up onto the toes of the right foot. If you can, step that left foot forward between the hands. We'll take a couple of attempts. Okay, find some stability here. When you're ready, walk the hands a little bit further forwards to step up into standing split on the left leg. Okay, finding you're grounded here, broadening through that standing leg. Right leg is up about hip height. Find the balance here. Maybe float the fingertips off of the mat. Maybe grab the ankle or the leg. Just check in how you are. Even one hand is good. Drop the hands down, float that right foot down onto the ball of the right foot. When you're ready, inhale the hands all the way through and up into a crescent lunge here. Left knee pointing over left toes. Slowly exhaling, come forwards with the arms and then all the way backwards as you lower the chest down on that left thigh or as close as you can get. Inhale up. Exhale, breath to movement. Inhale up. Exhale, nice and slow. Inhale up, feel the work going on now. Exhale all the way down. Inhale up and hold. Cactus in the hands again. So elbows, shoulder height, palms facing forward. Inhale as you pull the elbows back. Maybe dropping into this lunge a bit deeper. Inhale the hands up and then slowly float the hands down to the top of the mat. When you're ready, push into the mat with the hands as you come back into a downward dog. And then this time come all the way through into plank. We've come into a locust posture, so we're going to lower the whole body down onto the mat. Take the feet out to the edges of the mat. Take the hands down the side of the body, palms facing down. Inhale, lift up into locust here, pointing the toes. Looking diagonally down, breathing nice and slowly. Again, thinking of the work going on here. Shoulder blades coming towards each other. Both the glutes fired up, hamstrings working, spinal erectors in the lower back working. Breathing nice and slowly. Release, hands come down either side of the rib cage. Push up into tabletop. Take a child pose to counter. So sit the hips back onto the heels. Breathing in, allowing the tummy to descend towards the mat. Breathing out, sinking the hips back down into the heels. And look up between the hands. Come up into tabletop. Tuck the toes in. Lift into downward dog. Inhale through into plank. Going to come to side plank. So roll onto the outer edge of the right foot. You can step the feet in front of each other or stack the ankles. Lift the left hand up. Find the side plank position. Maybe take that palm, that left hand forwards. Find a longer stretch here. Maybe lift up through the left leg. Really work the posture. Whatever works for you. And then come all the way back with the hand. So you can roll all the way through into a side plank on the other side, finding your stability here, and then maybe doing some variations if you've got that in you. It doesn't matter if you haven't. It's just trying to work the body, challenge the body and the mind in these postures. All the way back to plank. And then let's get back into downward dog. So from here, inhale the left leg nice and high. Exhale, knee comes down the center line of the mat to the nose. Nose comes towards the knee. So you close up. Inhale, lift up. And drop the left leg down. Inhale the right leg up. And come knee to nose to knee. And inhale up. And come back down. Looking up between the hands. Going to step, walk, or little jump to the top of the mat. From here, with the knees bent and the hips pointing down, inhale the hands up into chair. Lengthening through the arms here, softening or dropping the hips down, trying to lean onto the balls of the feet, finding that balance. Breathing nice and slowly. And then slowly drop down to a bent knee forward bend. Hands come onto your shins. Inhale as you straighten the legs, lift up the chest, look forwards into a straight leg forward bend. And exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands down, and then roll down onto your bottoms and all the way down onto your lower back as you pull the knees in and massage the lower back. Okay. And then a little bit of a deeper back roll here. Going to roll up to a boat position. So as you find the momentum, come slowly up, engaging the core, establishing boat posture. Feeling the core engaged now. Still breathing nice and slowly. Looking towards your feet, opening the toes, so creating gaps between the toes as you hold here and breathe here. Bring your hands to your heart center and a rotation to the left with the shoulder, that right elbow towards the left knee. And come all the way back to center and to the other side. Come back to center, grab over your hamstrings, roll back into back roll again. A couple of back rolls. And we'll come up to boat one more time. As you come up, establish boat. Crossing your ankles, folding into easy posture as you lift up through the spine, lift up through the crown of the head. Plant the hands down just behind the hips, and then use your arms to lift the hips off of the mat a couple of times here. And then return to boat. Cross the ankles the other direction. Slowly come into easy posture this side. Lift up through the spine, through the crown of the head. Plant the hands down. And if you can't get your hands down, onto the fingertips is okay. And then lift up the hips a couple of times. And then roll down onto your back. Straighten out your left leg, lift your right leg up, drop the left leg down onto the mat. Slowly start stretching that right leg towards you, release. And again, towards you and release. Towards you and hold. Pointing both toes, holding that hamstring stretch on. Take the hands away from the foot, either side of the leg. Using your core, breathing in on an exhale. Change over, drop that right foot down, glide the left leg, stretch on, release, stretch on, release, stretch on, and hold. And then release the hands. Hands are nice and wide now. Inhale here, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. Inhale here, exhale. One more. Then bend the knees and roll up to seated position. Coming all the way forwards into a tabletop position and some cat-cows here as we start loosening off that core. So breathe the belly down towards the floor, lifting the head, pointing the butt, breathing out, rounding through the spine, tucking under. Okay, nice and slowly. And then come to a neutral position here, looking down at the mat, shoulders on top of wrists, knees under hips. With a breath in, take the left leg nice and long as the right hand goes nice and long up to the side of the head. With a breath out, knee to nose, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, and one more. Hold this posture here. Point the toes, point the fingers, look down at the mat, and breathe nice and slowly. And then drop down to tabletop, rock the hips from side to side. Look down at the mat with a slow inhale. Come into balance and count on this side. Left arm up to the side of the head as your right leg goes up, hip height, point the toes. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Knee to elbow. And this time we'll hold, stabilizing, keeping the breath nice and steady, looking down at the mat. And release. Rock the hips from side to side. Slowly walk the hands forward. Slowly sit the hips back onto the heels here, stretching out in child. And then come all the way up, tuck the toes in, lift up into downward dog, pedaling out the legs here. And we do that same sequence we did earlier. So take the feet out a little bit wider apart here. And inhale, come all the way through into a plank, but engaging the core, dropping the hips down, lifting up through the crown of the head. Exhale, all the way back into a wide leg dog. Inhale through into plank, finding that real good stability through the hands, lift up through the crown of the head, engaging the core. Exhale into downward dog. And one more. Really stretching, working the body here. Particularly when we drop the hips down, really working those tight postural muscles. And from here, we're going to make our way onto a seated position. So you can start bending the knees, walking the feet forwards and roll through. Or you can see if you can jump through the legs, which is quite challenging, but it's worth a go each time we go into that transition. Try to build up the core strength. Okay, into a seated position here. Lift up through the crown of the head. Just walk through forwards on the sit bones and back on the sit bones to get the hips still quite mobile here, still moving. Going to come into a seated forward bend. Okay, find a stable position here. Ankles flexed, toes pointing up. Rolling forwards of the pelvis. The pelvis is rolling forwards, sit bones going backwards. Find some tension in the back of the legs. Your knees might be bent, that's okay, but find that tension. Rest your hands on your legs. Come forwards with the head, with the chest. Okay, find that tension and breathe here into that tension, softening through that tension. As you breathe out, slowly breathe out. Slow exhalation, slightly sighing into the tension, trying to soften the body with each breath out. And as the body does start to release, let go. See if you can go a little bit deeper, but not to the point where it's really painful, uncomfortable, or sensitive in your lower back. Looking for hamstring stretch here. Breathing nice and slowly. And then release. Okay. Cross or bend the left knee and just rest the left ankle on top of the right knee. Okay, lean backwards to get some support and then start bending your right knee to come into this seated pigeon posture, looking for a stretch in the left glute. Okay, so you might need to use your arms behind you for a little bit of stability, but try to get to a position with that right knee and with the left knee going out to the side, keeping your ankle flexed, toes pointing upwards or forwards. Find the tension here. Okay, this is what we're going for. It's a really nice stretch. All of these pigeon stretches, whether you're on your front, your back, standing, really nice for the hips. But find that tension and breathe into that space. Trying to soften anything that's contracting that doesn't need to be. And feel that gentle movement of the tissue, the muscles, ligaments and tendons as they start to release, lengthen, stretch. Feel the sensation of that stretch. Okay, and then take that right leg nice and long. Come back to seated start, bending the right knee this time, rest the ankle. If this isn't working for you, you can come down onto your backs and do it on your backs. If you are okay, just try to get this little bit of external hip rotation in the right hip by right ankle and left knee, and then slowly bring that left leg towards you as you flex through the knee. Using your hands for stability here, and then working with your awareness of the tension in your body. Go to that tension and work with the breath into that tension. Rotating that hip out to the side. Particularly good if you've been sitting down all day and the legs have been going out in front of you. If you do sit down a lot during the day, either be working from home or even during the evening, watching the telly, thoroughly recommend getting a couple of books and sitting in a cross-leg position with your pelvis, the back of your pelvis on the books to lift, release the hips. It's a great way to get some happy hips when you're just doing nothing really, maybe working, prop the laptop or whatever it is you use up on a table in front of you, sit on the floor, a couple of cushions maybe, and then some books on the back of the pelvis. Just sit cross-legged. Change over every 3 or 4 minutes. Only need to do it for about 10, 15, 20 minutes. It's really good for you. And release out of that. Okay, coming down on your backs. Lift your knees up, massage your lower back. And then drop the feet down. Okay, hands down either side of the body. Rest the head and shoulders on the mat. Look up at the ceiling. Okay, going to come into bridge here, back bend. So with a breath in, push into the mat with both feet as you lift the hips up, keeping the knees parallel and lift up through the glutes and the quads, the thighs, as you come into bridge here, looking up over your chest, your tummy, and taking a few nice, slow, steady breaths here. Keeping that engagement though, keeping the quads fired up. Knees are parallel, so inner adductors, inner thighs, inner groin is active as well to stop the knees flaying out to the side. And try to, if you can, shuffle the shoulder blades towards each other, get a little bit more height. Breathing nice and slowly, but active in this posture. And slowly coming out of that as you roll down through the spine, vertebra per vertebra, engage in your navel, pulling your navel in towards your spine, roll down through the lumbar spine as well, right at the lower part of the back. As the pelvis comes down to the mat, lift the knees up and then massage the knees a couple of times, or maybe pull the knees in. If you want another nice counter pose in this, drop the hands down, push into the mat, and catch your hips if you can, and then straighten your legs out. You don't have to do this, but it is quite a nice counter pose if you can do it. Use gravity to pull your legs down towards you, not putting any pressure on your neck. So your head is quite light here, not really bearing down on the neck, but trying to get some length and extension through the legs. Use gravity, support the hips or the pelvis with your hands and your elbows grounded into the mat. Hold it here for a couple of breaths. If you can't do this, it's a simple case of putting the knees into the chest and bringing your head towards your knees. It is the same effect. Wherever you are, if you are up in plow, halasana, slowly come back down, supporting your glutes, your bottom with your hands as you roll down through the spine and drop the feet down onto the mat. Head and shoulders on the mat, take the arms out nice and wide, lift the left leg up, rest the left ankle on top of the right knee, slowly rotate the hips to the right. As that left knee comes down to the right side of the body, lift your right hand up, rest on top of that knee, gently pull that knee down and then turn and look to your left hand, soften through the left shoulder. Taking a few breaths here in this twist, keeping the pressure down on the right hand, pulling your tummy button in, breathing into the top of the rib cage. Finding this nice twist all the way through the spine. Think about the positioning of the spine now. From the sacrum, right at the base of the lumbar spine, all the way through to the base of the skull. It's a really nice rotation through the whole of the spine. Great, again, if you've just been sat or still in one position for a few hours or so. And then turning and looking up towards the ceiling, releasing that right hand, bringing your legs back to center, change over. So dropping that left knee down, right ankle on top of left knee. Turn and look up at the ceiling, head and shoulders on the mat. Rotate the hips to the left this time as you come all the way down. And then when you can't go any further, lift that left hand up and gently rest it on that or pull down on that right knee. Turn and look towards your right hand. Find that twist, that rotation through the shoulders, through the spine. Softening through the right arm. Trying to get that right arm all the way relaxed into the floor, but keeping the pressure on with your left hand and breathing nice and slowly into this stretch. Releasing any contracting muscles anywhere in your body that you don't need to have active, fired up. Really settling into the posture. And thinking about your breath, extending your exhales. And release, look up at the ceiling, come all the way back. Drop both feet down onto the mat. Join the soles of the feet together, let the knees open up, look up at the knees, just making adjustments to make them equal. Rest your head and shoulders back down on the mat. Rest your hands onto your belly. Take a few slow breaths here, breathing in for a count of 4, let's say. Breathe out for a count of 6 or 7. So slow and extending your exhale. Feel the movement of your belly with the breath. Try to target your breath into the tummy. I'm going to end this particular practice, this session here. You can stay in this posture for as long as you wish, or you can straighten your legs out into Shavasana. Take the feet to the bottom corner of the mat, let the feet flop to the side. You can switch the volume down and stay here and stay with your breath, focusing on the breath, just releasing tension in the body for as long as you wish. Trying to keep that single pointed focus on the breath. If the mind wanders, then guide it back to the breath, or even count each breath from 1 to 5 and then start the count again. As I say, you can stay here as long as you wish. I'm going to slope off. So thank you for joining me for this yoga class. I'm going to be putting some more up over the holidays, and hopefully in the new year, if the classes will resume, I'll see you on a mat somewhere. Okay, have a great day, stay safe, and I'll see you on the mat at some point. Thank you. Bye-bye.